At QSuper, we are committed to providing information, education and advice to all our members. We believe that learning from other people's experience is valuable. In this video, we chat to our retired members about their financial journey and share helpful advice about planning for your future.
Retirement is absolutely wonderful.
It gives me more time. I've got grandchildren to spend with grandkids. I can actually work if I want to, or not. And I have lots of activities that I do. I do rock and roll. I've got a boyfriend. Life is good.
Once you retire, you realise just what you didn't do before you retired. You can get up in the morning and you can open your eyes and say, no, I'm not going to do anything. And that's the glory of retirement. You don't have to do anything. You can do what you want, when you want.
I highly recommend it. It's better than going to work.
When you're young, you just pay your superannuation and it happens and that's it. And you never think you'll use it. Occasionally you get an annual statement and it says you have X dollars there. And that's about it. But towards the end of your career or as you progress, you do think more about it.
You hear lots of stories about how when I was about to retire, how there was going to be no pension. I didn't know what my future was going to hold. I didn't know where I was going to be, or who I was going to be with, what I was going to be doing. And I would have done what they call now salary sacrifice. I would have done a lot more about it if I'd thought about it.
Legs were the things that were going to go, and I run marathons, and I used to pound the pavements every night and do all these things that people said you should do to keep fit. They don't tell you that these things do wear out. These are things that are going to come in your old age, and this is what you've got to worry about, and that is a worry.
My lifestyle's changed for the better because I feel healthier now. I don't have that stress. Your focus is shifted just on you.
You went from being an executive, having a car and a secretary, and people noticing you and asking you your opinion, to all of a sudden next day you were retired. Their role in life is redefined. You're no longer judged by what you do or what you are or the position you hold. You become just an ordinary citizen, and it does change your outlook on life.
You know, we've bought solar power system, we've just had the hot water system go. You know, you're looking at big bucks for that. You couldn't afford that on a pension. You'd have to downgrade everything, so you couldn't really technically look after this house on just a straight out pension.
Typically you tend to think of what will we do in retirement, and everyone has the big trip in mind or several trips. I've developed some volunteer activities. I've worked for the Children's Hospital Foundation for 10 years. I'm a keen golfer, and that's something that I've taken up since retirement, so I try and play golf twice a week. And that keeps me interested and keeps me a little bit fit, I think.
First grandchild arrived last year, so that's a new interest for us. One of the other things I promised myself before I retired was that when I did retire, I was going to try and, I was going to try to learn the guitar.
I've now discovered gardening, which I like to do. I like tramping in the bush. So at one stage I did take up some bushwalking.
I came to retirement fairly suddenly in that I was offered a voluntary early retirement, which I took. That meant that I hadn't really prepared mentally or financially for retirement. I had made some voluntary contributions to my superannuation beforehand. So then, post-retirement, I took advice of financial advisors and put a plan in and started to rearrange our affairs to make that retirement happen.
Planners are the experts who know the rules. They know the taxation rules, the superannuation rules, the Centrelink rules. Whilst I have a basic knowledge of that sort of thing, I'm not an expert in it. My view is go and talk to the experts.
We went to the advisor and I thought we were just going to get, well, here's a financial plan, here's the range of investments. But like any good planner, they covered a lot of other things. The financial planner talked about providing for the little treats in life, the overseas trip, the visits or the family times, or moving to another house or something like that. So they did go into the things that are likely to happen to you in retirement and stress that you should have something there to back it up and make those things happen.
And that was probably the best advice I got when I was at one of the seminars. They said, you know, are you looking at your super? And at that stage, no, I wasn't. It was just there in the background growing, you know, doing nothing.
Key to all of that is understanding what it costs you to live. That's the one fundamental. If you know what it costs you to live, and there are a lot of people out there who don't know that, have never sat down and worked it out. They spend freely. They don't control their spending. Understand what it costs you to live, because then at the end of the day you'll know whether you've got anything left over.
Got to suddenly say, hey, the dollars aren't there anymore. I've got to adjust my lifestyle to suit this.
I said, I just need to know, is it in a fund where you give me so much per fortnight, or can I take out bits at a time? You know, that was my question. They said, whatever you want. You may do whatever you wish. And I said, oh, that's so wonderful.
Lucky enough, I took control of my superannuation fund early, and I was able to put it into different areas, just taking control of where my money went. Probably put an extra, $30,000-$40,000 into the kitty. So I had a fairly nice nest egg when I left. Paid off all my debts, paid a new car, and all the things that you want to do, and then still had enough there to live for 20 years at least.
I give myself 15 years until I reach 80, because I figure that up until then, that's when you're going to be living the most of your old age. And in that 15 years, I stopped and thought, now what is the most important thing to me for survival in the next 15 years? So, and for me, having a car, because you have your independence. So now I'm very proud of myself, the fact that I can go into retirement and not have to worry about owing money to anything or anybody.
Just over 3 years ago, I was told I had cancer and I had to have immediate surgery. And the best sort of surgery was robotic surgery, which wasn't covered by my health fund. We had arranged our superannuation into both a pension stream and an emergency or travel luxuries sector. I was able to, without hesitation, say, I'll have the best surgery available, and so far I've got through it.
I feel like we followed a sensible plan all along the way. Our major planning for retirement probably started at least 10 years before. So we were able to really ramp it up. Our children had grown to an age where they weren't an expense to us anymore, and we were able to really sort of ramp up our planning and saving.
It's certainly given us the confidence to go ahead and do the things that we planned. I'm very sure that the security given to me by QSuper has made our retirement a lot better and a lot more comfortable.
And although I had other superannuation funds, QSuper was the one that actually made the most money for me. I was so happy when I found out how much I had when I retired. It was great.
Look at your retirement early, and don't think it's just something there that you might get to. Don't look at the negatives and say, well, people die at 60. That is not, it mightn't be you. It might be you that goes to 100. Well, you won't have funds to go to 100 if you haven't done these little things in the beginning. And that's what you have to do, right in the beginning. And then as you become more affluent and your wages start going up, start seeing if you can put a little bit more in. It will help you in the long run.
This is the time to start looking at what you will be doing after you're retired. And you plan for the best, and your plan should also cope with some of the worst that might happen as well, and make the adjustments now to achieve that retirement that you want and need.
I think the most important thing is during your lifetime to be thinking about what you actually enjoy doing. What is the most thing in life that gives you the most purpose and what you are happy doing? Then aim for that in your retirement. If you have not thought about it before, then you better start right now and you put as much away as you can, because by gee, you're going to need it.
Work out what it's going to cost you to live in retirement. Start doing it well before you retire, and then make sure that you're heading towards a particular goal. I don't think it's too much more complicated than that.
It's one of these funny things, superannuation is a counterintuitive product. You think about it most when you're about to cash it in and you've actually got the least time to do anything about it. One of the things that's happened in recent years with superannuation is the transition to retirement option. There's the opportunity there to maybe salary sacrifice more and draw down some money out of a transition income stream, or it can be used just to give you more money and maybe service a debt or meet some emergency payments. The advisor will look at their total financial circumstances. It's often not just around the superannuation. We need to take everything into account because they might have investments somewhere else. They might have circumstances that lead them down a certain path. You're going to be working for 40 years and maybe playing for 20 or 30. So a couple of days, a bit of time, thinking about that next 20, 30 years stage of your life is certainly time well spent.
At QSuper, we believe QSuper should be for life. That is, we get many members join us from a very young age and stay with us for their whole lifetime. And what we want to do is offer solutions that work whilst they're working and well into retirement. If you want to be highly engaged with your superannuation, that's fine, but if you want to leave it to us, that's fine. So we've got many options that people can stay with QSuper for their life and tailor what they need, get advice, and hopefully have that happy, worry-free retirement. It's incredibly important to have your finances under control into retirement. Now, under control might mean you rely on a mix of superannuation and Centrelink, but under control really means that you've got some constant income that you can rely on and plan around. Knowing what's coming in the door, you can plan your activities around that. It gives people great confidence. It's absolutely never too late to get some help to plan your retirement. Even if you're already in retirement, you can still get some help. Understanding your options, getting advice, because many times you can do little tweaks that get you to a better place.
We're here to help you through life's changes. When making decisions about the future, QSuper will support you every step of the way. Our aim is for all our members to enjoy a comfortable, independent retirement.